Standing here with Jeff from JMG Reptile, and we're going to learn a little bit about hognose snakes, because you know what, I don't know that much about it, but I will tell you one thing. That snake, which you're calling the Arctic or Super Arctic, is amazing. Talk to me a little bit about the genetics of this.
This is a new codominant gene. That's the super form is pretty much a trait that just obliterates and knocks out all background pigmentation. So you're pretty much missing everything. So you're pretty much left with white, and it also accelerates the melanin, the melanophores. So you got an excessive amount of black pigmentation where the black pigment is being produced, and the iris is black too. So
of the snake. Well, what's this? Let me see this little guy you got here. This is the codon.
Yeah, that's the codon. That's the Arctic right there. That's a single gene expression right there.
Now this is a hognose. For people who might not know what hognose snakes are, these are colubrids, right?
Yes, they're colubrid. You know, this is the distinctive thing about them is the upturned rostral scale, which they use for digging. That's why they got the name the hognose snake.
Now, these snakes don't constrict, right? When they eat?
No, they have rear fangs, and they pretty much eat by overpowering and using their rear fangs to hook on and hang on to the prey. And they have a very varied diet. They eat reptile eggs in the wild, toads, you know, pretty much anything they can find. They've actually done some reports and found some very interesting things they'll eat, even small turtles.
Really? Turtles they eat?
Yeah, little baby box turtles. They found them eating those before.
Where would you find these, like in the wild?
Sand prairies, like open, like sand prairie dunes. They're in the Midwest, scattered populations. They range from Montana all the way down to Texas.
This is cool because we don't really have cool snakes in North America, or at least in the United States. This is probably the coolest United States snake that we got.
Yeah, it's my favorite species of snake. I think it's one of the most interesting species. Their habitat, how they live, what they eat. They're very unique in many different ways that I didn't even really cover. But, you know, yeah, I think they're one of the most interesting snakes in the world, and they actually live pretty close. Actually, they're in Illinois.
They are in Illinois?
Yeah, there's a small population about 2.5 hours from here where they live.
Well, because these guys hibernate a little bit in the winter, right?
Yes, yeah, they go into, they'll hibernate in old mammal and rodent burrows and sand prairies, and yeah, so they'll overwinter.
Do you hibernate these things before you breed them?
Yes.
Now, let's talk about this. This is the Arctic, and then the Super Arctic gene is when you have two copies of it, you get that one.
Yes, yeah.
When you first produced this, I mean, you said this was kind of like a random type of thing. Were you kind of shocked?
Yeah, I was, because when I was getting into hognose at first, I was pretty young, and I was, you know, just looking for anything that was a little unusual and different looking. So anytime I seen something that caught my eye or thought that was a little different, you know, or special, I'd breed it. And a lot of times I'd just, you know, go try to line breed them. And this one was, you know, different because when I, you know, bred it, I noticed that, you know, half the babies had, like, you know, the Arctics, you know, had this, like, you know, overall gray silverish look, and they're very different looking. And I was like, wow, it almost seemed codominant. I was like, but how did I just find a codominant trait just, you know, like, luckily? And it actually popped out of ones that looked like this, my lemon ghost stuff, because, you know, I was line breeding those. But anyhow, when I did breed my first two Arctics together, the one I didn't even know the one was even really an Arctic. It looked too yellow. And I produced a super, and when the supers first hatch, this is one thing that's interesting. There's a baby super right here. They're very
they're dark.
Yeah, very dark. And it's not until a couple sheds. Well, it's actually, they shed right after they hatch. Hognose usually shed within hours or a day or two after they hatch. But their next shed after that, that's when a lot of that dark pigmentation goes away, and it's on the background, and you got that nice, bright, bleached white background color.
Now, are you the only guy producing these at this point?
There's a few other people that have the project too, that I've sold it to and, you know, traded with, that have them. So there'll be more, you know, available, you know, in the coming years.
That's exciting. Now, how can people get a hold of you if they want to purchase some of these?
They could go on my Facebook page, JMG Reptile. They could contact me through email at jeff@jmgreptile.com, or just go to my website, jmgreptile.com, and contact me through there.
Well, best of luck with the project.
Thank you.